curious, Coach, there's been a couple times when he's hinted that he was going to retire, but now, actually retiring. When he told you, were you shocked, or was it kind of you felt like it was kind of expected in a way?
It wasn't expected, but I kind of knew just how he had spoken to me after the Kutztown game. And, you're right, he's said it a couple of times before, and I never believed him. I knew he wasn't going anywhere. But after that game, I knew. And he didn't say anything to me, he didn't say anything directly to me, but he did say something, and my husband was with me at the time, and we talked about it and kind of knew. And then he met with me the next morning, and it wasn't a surprise because I kind of figured it out, and I just knew it was time. Like I said, I didn't expect him to go out. I was willing to stay here a couple more years. I mean, I toughed it out for 8 years. Why not more? And I didn't really want him to leave because I had learned so much from him, and I was still willing to learn more. And every day I was learning something new from him. And it was an honor to play for him, and it's been more of an honor to coach for him. But I do look forward to getting my chance and taking everything that I've learned from him and learned from other coaches, but mainly from what I've learned from him, and being able to instill it in my own program is something I'm willing to do, and I'm willing to get started, or ready to get started. So
you definitely have a close relationship with Coach Cheek, and just the fact that he's stepping aside. I mean, you guys have been together so many years. Definitely difficult for him, but for you, what's going through your mind right now?
I've got a mix of emotions. I'm sad to see my mentor, who has done so much for me as a coach, a player, a person. He's done so much for my family. It's sad to see him go, but I'm happy that I'm finally getting my chance, which is what I've been working for. I'm scared. I'm nervous. I'm jumping off the couch right now. It's just a whole bunch of mixed emotions. But it's heartbreaking knowing that he's stepping aside. Because as much as I want him to leave, I don't want him. I shouldn't say as much as I want him to leave. As much as I want my turn, I don't want him to leave. Because I know this is a legendary Coach Cheek, and this is the program. This HSU softball program is him, and so it is hard.
Yeah, how hard is that to leave people when Coach Cheek, a legend, and like when he does leave, and people would say the big shoes to fill, and his type of resume. But for you, how do you kind of put that aside and say, hey, we're moving forward now?
Well, you step in after a legendary coach, and of course things are magnified 1,000 by 1,000. My expectations are set way high, and I will never ever fill his shoes. Nobody ever will. He is Coach Cheek. But all I can do is be myself and be the coach that I am capable of, knowing that I've learned from one of the best in this program, or that the sport has to offer. He is one of the best that the sport has had to offer, and it's definitely scary. But I know that I'm never going to fill his shoes, but I know that it's my turn, that I can take whatever I've learned and just be me as a head coach. And I know these girls, I'm excited about these girls. A lot of these, most of the girls, as Coach said, I recruited. And he told me that these girls you're recruiting for you. You're recruiting your program here. And so I had a lot of leeway with the recruits because he knew that these were going to be mine. And so I look forward to just, to taking over and starting a new chapter in Humboldt State softball. Same book, just a new chapter. And
What do you think your mark will be on the program?
I'm definitely not the benevolent dictator Coach is. And that's something I'm going to have to adjust to. When I took this job, Coach said, all right, I'm the bad cop, you're the good cop. So I was more, being a mother myself, I was more the motherly type to these players. That's going to be hard to get rid of. But I'm going to have to learn to be more of that. I'm not going to be the dictator, but I'm going to have to learn to lean more towards that, and being a little harder on the players instead of going everything's all right like I've had to before. I've got to be able to instill and say this is how it's going to be. So, it's definitely going to be a challenge.
And what are you looking for in your replacement to take over as number 2 in command?
Well, I've been thinking about it a lot, and it's got to be somebody who has different qualities than I do. I could take care of the books. I'm really good as far as the office is concerned and on the field stuff, but I'm not a pitching coach. I'm the hitting coach, and that's my specialty. So I'm going to have to bring somebody in who's I'm going to be able to give to the pitchers and be like, that's your job. Your job is the pitchers and the catchers, and I will do the hitting and the defense. So we'll see. We've got a couple people in mind, but we'll see what kind of coaching staff we can get here that's going to help continue this program.
How soon do you think you'll narrow it down to?
Working on it as soon as, other than my scholarship and my budget, it's my next thing to do. So I've already made a few calls to people that I know of, and we'll just see how those things work out. I'd like to keep Alicia Reed on, who has done really well with the program, helped me with the program this year, and she knows the game well, and we work well together, so I'm looking forward to hopefully keeping her on, but also bringing in a pitching coach.
Coach G talked about the players that are coming in. The tough task seems like at first base. It seems like you've always had a key first baseman. Mm-hmm. The Lovely, Stahl, the list goes down, and I guess that's the. But people come in. I mean, talk about the holes that you do have to fill and go into next season.
Well, obviously, first base is going to be a hole to fill. We feel like we've recruited 3 freshmen that we don't know. I can't tell you what's going to happen. I can't tell you how they're going to adjust to the game, but they definitely are good ball players who they'll never replace Galelli. They'll never replace Stahl, but hopefully they can do the job. We've got, of course, a returner who's sat behind Stahl for 2 years, so we'll see how she develops now as a possible starter. Behind the plate, Hyatt's going to be missed. Of course, Hyatt wasn't the ball player she was her freshman year. Hyatt was Hyatt her junior and senior year. So we have a catcher within the program now who's looking forward to taking over that job, and we're also looking for hopefully a backup, or if not another starter, to help push what will be our sophomore behind the plate. As far as our other we've had some other key senior. The other 4 seniors we've had are key ball players. We've had a couple outfielders who will graduate, and 2 other backup catchers that will graduate or that have graduated. And I think we've done a good job with recruiting as far as the outfield's concerned. And of course, we're still looking for more catching. But we have a really good freshman class coming in that I think is going to do a great job filling those holes that we have. So I have to say it's probably one of the, next to Stoff and Hyatt's recruiting class, it's probably one of the strongest classes we have coming in.
You say you want to bring in a pitching coach, and your expertise in the hitting. How important is it for the right person to come in knowing the 2 pitchers, they got a lot of experience this year, but they're just going to be sophomores coming back?
It's important. Obima and Perez did a great job, and they're young, and I want a pitching coach come here and not get change a whole bunch of stuff on them because they have obviously done the job. I want them to help develop. The pitching coach's job will be to help develop them into stronger pitchers. With Obima, she's lacking a changeup. With Perez, I think she's just lacking stamina. So I don't want her coming in here changing things. I want her coming in here helping develop it. She might tweak something here and now, but I don't want it to hurt the pitchers. because, like I said, you can't ask for anything better than the 2 freshmen that we had this year, and they're only going to get stronger. So.
At some point during the season, Coach Cheek was very, complimentary and appreciative of your job as the hitting coach. I remember talking to him at the home run. He goes, "That's all Shelli's done that." And how surprised or not surprised with you with the way the home run hitting throughout the lineup?
I remember talking to somebody after losing Reed, Nozowski, and Vivieros the year before, who had a bulk of our home runs, and going, "Oh, I'm not so much worried about our hitting. I think we'll still hit for average, but our power might be down." Well, I was completely wrong there. I did know that we still had Randall. I did know we still had Williams. I wasn't expecting Walker. I knew Walker was a good ball player, but I wasn't expecting the power from her. Her game's more of her speed, but she really came in. She worked her tail off, and even down to the bottom of the line. I mean, Aragones and Chavez contributing. Even Wink, who struggled this year, contributed home runs. Pena, who has the most unconventional swing, but gets a job done. Those are one of the swings where I'll go, okay, it's ugly, but I'm not changing a thing because it obviously works. And I tell the girls, I don't care if you bat with your bat behind your back and you hit the ball, I'm not going to change it. But the second you don't, we're going to work on it. And she's one of those where I'm like, oh, no, we'll leave it how it is. These girls really worked hard. And I have to give credit to our weight coach, Angie, who really helped them develop off the field. And really ran a really strong weight program and helped them take what they learned in the weight room and bring it out on the field. So I'm not going to take all the credit. I mean, I'm just their hitting coach, but things have to be done outside of that, especially with the power, to help contribute. And like I said, Angie did a really good job.
Thank you.
So,
Coach Cheek talked about, the in-game situations where you guys, talk. How do you think kind of you have progressed over the years under him, kind of, judging the game and, obviously as a player, you know it well to begin with, but just kind of the coaching instincts, how do you think those have come along as an assistant?
I think at first I was really hesitant and I didn't really speak my mind and kind of like, okay, coach, whatever you say. And as coach and I got to know each other better, or I got to know coach better, I started speaking my mind more and telling him what I felt, and not being afraid of what I was going to say to him, because he was asking my opinion for a reason. And a lot of the times when he talked, it was about the hitters, and my job as the hitting coach was to make those decisions. So it was really nice to see him allow me to do that. And as he allowed me to do that, I grew more confident. I was able to trust my ability and trust my instinct. And he was able to take that and trust what I had to say to him.
Coach Cheek, he was saying pretty much he's gonna, walk away. But do you feel like there's be times when you just want to pick up the phone and say, Coach, I got this going on. Can I get your advice and expertise?
I know there will be times where I'll have to ask him questions, or where I'll want to ask him questions, and I think he says he says he'll step away, but I think if him only being a phone call away, he'll know. I won't have a problem calling him, and he'll give me his advice. Granted, he won't be out there at practice. He won't, he'll be at the games in the stands, and he says he wants to walk away, but I don't see him walking away from advice that I've asked of him.